Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Crazy Faith Podcast. It's your host, Jasmine Todd, and today we have an incredible episode, which is also very hilarious, with our special guest, Kori Carter. Before we get into any type of conversation, though, you know that I have to do it. I've got to give a huge shout out to our sponsor, Agogie. Agogie has pioneered the resistance apparel industry, creating pants that have personally taken my training to a whole new level. With 8 resistance bands built in, these pants are going to help increase your training intensity and are guaranteed to improve your overall performance. Get faster, get stronger, all as simple as putting on pants. So once again, huge thank you to Agogie for sponsoring this episode, and get ready to tune in, guys. I hope you enjoy the episode. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the Crazy Faith Podcast. My name is Jasmine Todd, and I have my beautiful guest here today, Kori Carter. Hey, girl. Hey.
Hi.
So I'm going to give a little introduction of you. So Kori Carter is a 400-meter hurdler. Insane, because nobody has time to be running a 400 with obstacles in the way. Very difficult. I don't know who invented that event, but shout out to all of you guys. You guys got some heart. Kori ran for the Stanford Cardinals. She is a 9-time All-American, 2013 NCAA outdoor champion. She is also a gold medalist in the 2017 World Championships, and she is a one-of-a-kind athlete for the Jumpman Jordan, okay? And that, for anyone who doesn't know, there is a very, very select few. Like, what is it, 4 of you guys?
Track? Yeah, it's me, Eric, Mandy, and then April. She's Paralympian, but April's retired.
Was 4, now 3, because we've got a retired, and everybody always wants to be a part of that because everyone loves Jumpman, and she is one of the very, very special few, and they did a good job of picking her out because if you guys ever check out her Instagram, she is killing the game, okay? She is stomping on necks all quarantine, especially with her photo shoots, and she is a great, great, great representation of their brand. So perfect fit, and I love when a brand finds a perfect fit for them. You're definitely one.
Oh, thanks.
So I've actually got a couple fun facts here. Okay. Your hobbies. You love watching some Disney movies, and you like dancing.
I do. I don't know if I'm good at dancing, but I enjoy doing it, you know?
I enjoy dancing as well. I may not be the best.
You're good at it. No, I've seen the hips.
I've seen it. What is your favorite Disney movie?
Okay, we have to go by categories. Overall, I would say Lion King. Favorite princess, she's technically not a princess, but Mulan. Princess Naveen. And then if I'm going off of soundtracks, it's a tie between Hercules and Oliver and Company. And my favorite villain is probably Hades.
Yeah, yes! This is why I liked you. Lion King spoke to me deep in my heart. That is my favorite movie, period.
Lion King 2 is where Ko's name comes from, my dog. So, keep it in the family.
Keep it all in the family. Okay, so with your track career, what made you get into track?
I always was an athlete. I pretty much did every single sport other than track. I played soccer, basketball, softball. When I high school, I did volleyball. I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, did I say soccer? Oh, football. I played flag, but my dad wouldn't let me play tackle. So I pretty much did everything. And then softball is just way too slow of a sport for me. And so I just was like, I want to try track. And from there, I'd read about Jackie Joyner Kersey, and I was like, I do all these sports. I'm going to be a multi-eventer. So I started off as an 8:15 / multi-eventer and then I was like, wait, the hurdles exist. And I'm so glad I did the multi-events because I don't think anyone would have put me in the hurdles based on my stature. And then I just fell in love with the hurdles, and it was kind of from there. yeah, so I started in 7th grade, and from there I was like, yeah, this is it.
Yeah, I was definitely gonna ask, like, what made you choose the hurdles? Why do you love the hurdles so much?
They chose me. No, I think for me, I love like the dichotomy of like it's speed and aggression, but it's also really graceful and technical. I think to me, it is the epitome of track and field. It is the combination of like the technical field events with a race on the track. So, yeah, and I also just love like for me, I started track like later than a lot of the girls that I like was running against, and so and track was like the first sport I actually had to like work to be good at. And I love the idea that if you made a adjustment and improved on something, that would improve you tenfold, because if you make an adjustment on one hurdle, you just made it for 10. So yeah, that's kind of why I just fell in love with the process.
Okay, here's one thing that I've heard from quite a few 400 hurdlers is that the 400 hurdles is actually easier than running an open 4. Is that true?
Yes. And yeah, for sure. I think for me, like, I'll even go on and say for me personally, I find the 100 hurdles to go a lot quicker than that open 100. And it's more so like in the 400, when I'm at hurdle 4, I'm like, okay, got to keep pushing into hurdle 5, 6, and then it's like it's time to start alternating. That's hurdle 4 to me is like, okay, doesn't seem like I'm at the 150 mark. But when you're at 150, you're like, I'm not even halfway done. I'm tired in the open 4, and I'm just supposed to like keep running. And there's just track in front of you. Same thing with like the 100. Like when I would do the 100 hurdles, it's like, okay, I get out 8 steps, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, finish. Where it's like the hurdle 100, I'm like, I'm already out of my drive phase because I'm a hurdler way too early. I'm just gonna keep dying while these girls run past me. Cool. Great. Like, we're having so much fun. Like, I'm just like, after your drive phase, what do? You just keep running? I don't know. Like, I don't like it.
It's like
I don't want to do it. I'm not here for it. But
transition, down, 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 fast as you can, move your arms. And then boom, you're done.
For you, you're done. I take a lot longer to run 100 meters. Okay.
Okay, so we actually, now that we've got into this too, you're dabbling back into the short hurdles.
I love both of them for different reasons. I'm obviously much better at the 400 hurdles, but throughout college, I always thought of myself as a dual hurdler, and I never thought of myself as like a long hurdler or a short hurdler. And then Brianna was like, no, you a long hurdler, girl. I'm out here running big girls' times. And I was like, you're right. I'm going to head over.
I'll go over here. I'm going to head over this way.
But yeah, I think the 100 hurdles is a way more, like, you have to be way more technically sound, and it's a way more aggressive event, which I love. And it's also just like faster. The 400 hurdles, to me, it's more about like grit and mental toughness. But also, like, if you make a mistake at the 100 hurdles, like, you're out of there. Where it's like you have room to like figure things out in the 400 hurdles. You're dying the whole time, but you know, you can really dig and get yourself back in a race.
I still honestly have no idea. First of all, jumper, 100 runner. So I hear 4, and I'm just like, and then there's just this obstacle in the way, and I don't know how you guys do it. I really give props to you guys, and you guys run fast. It's not even like y'all be running by 400 time. So
it's because every event is on one, so it's like you have no other option but to like fall out every time. Because I feel like the hurdles are one of the events where it's like you go to a race and you're like, oh, everyone's here, everyone's trying to shout out. Like, it's not one of those races where you're like, oh, I don't see my competition till, you know, championship season. I'm like, no, we line it up every time.
I feel like we kind of were able to see that transition as well, where you guys just really started coming out. Like, you guys are so deep in this 400 hurdle group, and
To be a U.S. female hurdler is like, it's a battle.
It's definitely a battle. I enjoy watching you guys run because you guys y'all got that. Y'all are doing it, especially Team USA. You guys got depth in that. And I personally can't wait to see you guys get out there, compete. Can't wait to see you guys at trials. Can't wait to see you guys in Tokyo. It's going to be so fun to watch you guys. So fun.
I'm excited about it too.
Like, I think you guys have actually became one of my favorite events to watch over the past couple years, to be honest.
Oh, thanks.
You guys have definitely, like, you guys keep it exciting, and I feel like you just really don't know what's going to happen in your guys' event because you guys are just so deep in it.
I could say the same about your event. You, especially you as a competitor, you bring the spice, flavor. I'm like, I love it. Because this is the thing, it's like, I can tell you train with the dudes because the way you approach competition is the same way I see like the guys compete. And I'm like, yo, she talking cash right now. She wants all the smoke and I'm here for it.
Look, I love it too because it's no sensitivity. It's just it's spice. And I be talking so much mess to them. And sometimes I have to remember that I'm around other females. I'm just like, I'm gonna just be quiet for a second. Just for a second over here to myself. So I actually want
I always wanted to go to Stanford as my parents really wanted me to go to Stanford. And so I think after my freshman year, I flew up to take an unofficial visit just to see this campus. And my dad was like, we're going to meet this coach because this is happening. And I ran at Stanford Invite a few times. And so after my junior year, my junior year, during my junior year, I applied to Stanford. And then after my junior year, I made the youth team. And while I was overseas, World Youth, it was the dead period drop where you can finally sign. Yeah. And so the day I got back from Italy from World Youth, Coach Flo was at my doorstep and he was like, we signed these papers to go to Stanford. And I was like, I haven't even started my senior year. Can I go on a visit? I just wanted to know, take a trip to Miami real quick or something.
Can I go on a fun visit before I do this?
And he was like, nah, you're going to sign today. You're going to send an email to all the coaches recruiting you saying it's a wrap. In fact, you're going to send a email to DISAT to tell them to announce it. You're done. And I was like, cool. I went on a official visit my senior year. And it was funny because some of the kids were like, yeah, it's great. Come here. And I was like, I'm already coming. Y'all don't have to sell me on it. It's over.
I'm already here, guys.
Yeah. So it was pretty much but for me, I knew I wanted to go to a school that was athletically very competitive, but also at the same time, academics wise was going to be respected. And my dad is a Trojan. My mom's a Trojan. Actually, my whole family is from USC. And my dad was just you go other places, you're going to be, they're going to say you're fast. If you go to Stanford, they're going to say you're smart. And so he was just, and when I went to campus, I was like, oh yeah, everyone here is weird. These are my people. I'm coming. I don't think I met one normal person.
This is where I needed to be. This is good. Yeah. You earned your degree in human biology. What made you choose human biology?
I think that the human body is the coolest machine ever built. And I just find it really fascinating. And I've always been a math and science girl. And yeah, so I think learning about the inner workings of our body is just really fun. I find it very interesting. Yeah. And growing up, I wasn't allowed to watch TV on the weekdays, except for the news, Jeopardy, and Wheel of Fortune. But my dad would go out with his friends on Thursday. And so my mom would let me watch Grey's Anatomy. And so I fell in love with medicine and biology through that show because it was like the only show I was able to watch like on a weekday that wasn't like purely educational.
That's so cute, but it's still like educational. You actually still learn some stuff in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so what do you want to do with it? Like, do you plan on doing anything with that degree in regards to it still when you're done?
I don't know. I initially was studying in school. I was really interested in orthotics and prosthetics just because I like the idea of like technology and biology like combining. But since I've like gone pro, like have my track career, my interests have kind of changed a little bit. So I have no idea what I'm doing after track. Like I really am interested in entrepreneurship and all that stuff. But who knows? Who knows?
Who knows? Okay, but also you did talk about how you're interested with the human body and technology. You've grown an interest for the Paralympians. What is that what drew you to the Paralympics and kind of watching and supporting them?
Yeah, for sure. I remember in high school I was running at the Mount Sac relays, and I think that was like the first time I really saw like up close and personal like the Paralympics. I did a lot of like research in school about like the physics and the mechanics of these things. And like that's where like my internship was with a prosthesis guy. So I just find it really fascinating, and then especially not just like the technology, but also when you hear like these people's stories, they are like so remarkable, and like I have so much respect for them because like they do everything that feel like they're superheroes. They're just out here like being bionic men and women.
No, they're absolutely amazing. And I think that's me being here at the center. I will say it's been so you won a gold, and it's not very many people out there that can say I have a gold medal, and especially in an individual event. Okay, so now we've entered this strange period of time. Like we're all super excited. Last year it was an Olympic year, and then COVID kind of happened. How did 2020 go for you, and what was your thought process with all the emotions that were happening?
I think it was just a time of like, okay, we have to adapt. Like we got kicked off the track, so now we're training at a college, and then we get kicked off that track, so now we're training at a high school, and I have hurdles in my car because we're moving all the time, and I have blocks in my car, and then my neighbors are letting me lift in their gym because the gyms are closed. It was just a lot of just like, okay, you say you want it, like you got to figure it out. You have to like, you're really gonna have to work for it. And I think as an athlete, it's kind of hard because we're really used to our routine, and it was kind of just like, all right, you have to make it work right now.
Yeah, definitely. So you're training out at Texas. So what was that experience like? Did they close the track down? Was it a little bit more difficult for you guys to be able to get back onto the track?
Yeah, so they closed the track down basically right when basically NCAA indoors last year, when they canceled that, we stopped training as well. And like, we kind of went through a phase where I was like training by myself, and Coach Will was just trying to like figure out, because he's a man with a plan. And so his plan got thrown off. So he was just like, I just need to like figure out what we're going to do. And so we got kicked off the track, and then it was kind of like we were going to different tracks like that were open and just trying to make the best of it. But it was really just us pros training. All the college kids went home. But now it's like, we're back training at UT, and it's really great because like I feel very safe there because of the protocols that they've taken. We have to like do a survey every morning, temperature checks every day. We get tested like at least once or twice a week. Everyone does. We're masking indoors and hand sanitizer, all that stuff. So it's been a bit of an adjustment, but like we're making it work, and like I'm just really grateful that they're still letting us use the facilities because
definitely
rough this summer.
Girl, definitely. I felt really bad, especially hearing that a lot of the pros weren't having access that were training at college facilities and not being able to actually train on those.
Yeah, I feel really lucky because a lot of pros still don't have like a stable training environment, which is like really key.
Absolutely. And what was I about to ask? I had a question at the top of my head. Oh, there we go. Boom, back on it. So 2020. Okay, so they had the little series of meets. There was like 5 different meets in one day.
Yes. Shout out to Coach for putting that together.
You actually competed in this meet and you did 5 different outfits. Am I correct?
5 different outfits and 5 different hairstyles. I said, it's a different meet. It's a different look. Like, mainly because
was in between these meets. How much time did you have to change these outfits?
Every 15, I think it was every 15 minutes. It was every 15 minutes. It was a new meet because it was insane. But like, I am a troll at heart. So for me, I was like, this is a ridiculous situation. I'm going to be ridiculous. Like, how could I not?
I love that. I didn't realize how short of a time it was. Yeah, props to you for that.
Yeah, that's why all the times we're like, what's going on? Because everyone was like, all right, it's time to run. It was like, I'm in the 100 and then in 15 minutes, I'm in the 200. Like, it was basically just a long workout.
Good. Wow. Yeah, I thought that was it was very interesting that they had put that together. And when I learned that it was 5 different meets in that whole sitting.
Yeah, I'm like very grateful that I have a coach that's like a problem solver. And he's just like, because a lot of athletes, I feel like they were very concerned with their contract and like, okay, like what are you gonna do? And like, instead of being like, well, okay, we'll just like wait for, you know, the shoe company to make a decision, like, he was like, well, let's just fulfill the obligations of your contract and like get it done. And so I'm really grateful because I feel like I'm very lucky to have a coach that's like, I'm going to make sure my athletes are good, you know?
Absolutely. And also, I didn't realize that you've been with Coach Flo for so long.
Like half my life at this point.
You've literally been around Coach Flo. What has been your experiences with Flo? Because he's seen different sides of you. I'm sure you've seen him. Like, you guys have watched each other grow. You've probably seen some bad sides, the good sides. How has that been?
Yeah, like I think of Flo as like my other dad. And like we have a very like love-hate relationship in that like we're so similar. So we know how to push each other's buttons. And I purposely push his buttons because Flo is always going to win the big arguments, the big fights. You know, like at the end of the day, I'm going to do what he says. So like if I can just win like a little, you know, if I can make fun of his outfit or like mess with him and put him on my story, what I know he does, I'm going to do it. Because like I said, I feel like I'm his daughter. So like I have to get on his nerves. And he can't stand me, but he loves me to death. So what is he going to do? But yeah, I've done Flo basically since I was like 13, 14. I'm like 20 now, so like more than half my life. He recruited me to Stanford and then he left after my sophomore year. And like I was with the new coach that came in, and then I started training with Bobby when I went pro. And then when I didn't make the Olympic team in 2016, like Flo kept calling me to check in on me because he just was like, "You're my baby. You should make these teams." Like, yeah. He just saw like one of the things I love about Coach Flo is like he has such vision for his athletes, and so he's the only person in my life who has bigger dreams and goals for me than I have for myself. And he's the type of person like he gets very frustrated if he doesn't see that coming true. And when I didn't make like the Olympic team, I was like really upset. And I kind of was talking to my agent and I was just like, if someone would just tell me what I needed to do to be successful, I would do it. And I was like, I swear to gosh, I would do every single thing. And I hung up the phone and Flo called me. And I was like, I just took that as a sign from God to be like, go back to dad. Like, let's just make this happen.
Go back home.
Yeah. And he was in Kentucky at that point. And I think I made the decision to train with him on a Wednesday, and he was like, cool, see you on Friday. And I was like, I have a home, a child, and my dog. And he was like, yeah, I'll see you on Friday. And so I packed up 2 suitcases and my dog. I had no car. I had no place to live. I was like living in his house, and he hates dogs, but his wife was like, at least let her bring the one thing in this world that she cares about. And yeah, I like just moved across the country just to like train with him, because like I've had a lot of great coaches, but like there's something about Coach Flo that just clicks. And like I said, like this man was about to fight for me at Worlds. Like I just know that he always has my back, and like that's the type of person you want to run for. It's like he does so much work, like extra work, that I feel like not a lot of coaches do. And I'm like, he can't be making all these sacrifices and, you know, put in all this time and watch all this film and make up these drills and workouts specifically tailored for me to not go out here and be successful. Like, you know?
Wow. So what has been your favorite memory with Coach Flo?
It was probably getting to like hug him after Worlds, because I told like it was just, I feel like after I didn't make the Olympic team, like I don't think a lot of people believed, especially when I got lane 9, like I don't think a lot of people thought I was going to win that race. But I had no doubt in my mind, mainly because my coach had been telling me that whole year, like, you're going to be the world champion. And like for it to finally come through, and like I had moved across the country to like train with this man, and like in a year I went from like not making the team to like world champion. It was just like, wow, we did that. Like, okay. Yeah. And it was like such like a great moment, and like for him to be there every step of the way, it was just like, yes.
Yes. Oh, wow. That is amazing. For anyone who does not know, Coach Flo knows. Okay. Flo knows. He is an amazing coach. If you look up his records and his athletes, his accolades with those athletes and what they have done.
Look at his accolades too. Like, he got like I want to say it's 8. I want to say it's something ridiculous. He has like a ridiculous amount of NCAA championships.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Because he was winning indoor outdoors triple long. It was.
And you know, I think that's one of the amazing things too, because it's a lot of athletes that are out there that get into coaching, and not every athlete is meant to coach. Not every athlete is a great coach. And so the fact that he's got that figured out, he's got a great system for you guys. And anytime I see someone switch it over to his group, I'm just like, yeah, they're a problem. There's someone to look out for, because he's been doing absolutely amazing. Another question here is, we saw an article where you're in support of college athletes getting paid. What do you think of this matter?
I think it makes sense. I feel like, yes, like you're giving students scholarships and giving them access to a great education, but at the same time, like you're making money off of their likeness and then telling them that they can't make money off of theirs. And I also think the rules are like they're very strict on athletes in a way that they aren't for other students. And I understand it's like, because there is this idea that like, you know, people are going to give you more of an opportunity because you're an athlete, but that's also going to happen in the real world. But it's like, okay, if I make my own YouTube channel and I'm putting in all the work, like why shouldn't I be able to make money off of ads? And I know like, yeah, you probably have a bigger presence because you're a student athlete, but also like you also have a skill that is marketable, you know?
Exactly.
And I'm not one of those athletes who's like, I didn't make money, so like they don't get to make money.
Yeah.
Like I think progress and opportunity is like very important. And the other thing is like there are a lot of athletes that are going to go. There's not let me rephrase that. There's not a lot of athletes that are going to go pro and make a profit off of all of the hard work that they're putting in college. You know, like a lot of athletes aren't actually going to reap the benefits of like the work they're putting in college, because like making it to be a professional athlete is like a 1 in a million shot. You know, it's a very rare occurrence. So I think if you can at the time monetize and like take advantage of the opportunity that you have, like who am I to stop a bag or a hustle? Like, well, who's NCAA to stop a bag or a hustle? That's just how I feel.
Yes, I definitely agree. I hope they can even collect the money that they earn when they come to these U.S. championships, because there has been way too many college kids that have came on the scene and did the thing and can't collect those coins.
Yeah.
And even if they put it in a fund for them to have later down once.
Yeah, for sure.
Everything helps. Everything definitely helps. All the little stuff.
Yeah. And especially like in track, like I always say, track is a job. It's not a career. We're not making basketball, football, baseball money. Yeah. Like that 10K that you won junior year, you could have won at junior year, like in college, like it would make a difference.
It makes a world of a difference, especially once you're done and it's just like, okay, well now I'm done with college and I have no type of income now. So what do I do here? Like some people's processes with signing, it takes a little longer for them. And
student athletes also like don't have the schedule where they can like get a job and do school and go to practice and travel. Like I remember in college, I like washed dishes at my eating hall just because it was the only like thing that worked with my hours that I could just make a little money so I could go to the movies or whatever. Cause I just didn't want to ask my parents because I was like, I'm independent, that, you know? So I was like, I'm just gonna like get in this kitchen because I can't be like, hey, let me get a job, but I also can't work ever. You know,
right. I can't ever come in, and when I do, I may be a little too tired. Like, so I'm sorry, I've got studying to do, and then I'm gonna be gone for a week because I've got a track meet.
Yeah,
a lot of jobs are gonna look at you and be like, "So why are you here?"
Yeah, like I like never had a job in high school because it was like I have practice.
Same.
And I always was in the sport, so it was like I have practice, I have meets. What job am I gonna work?
What job where?
Other than babysitting, like on vacation.
Like, let me at least collect the coins because I can't get these job experiences. Like, help me out somewhere. Do something. Dang. Okay, so final question before we get to our 3 fun questions, which is always a fun, we know everybody's goal, but what are your goals for this Olympic year?
Fall, win, gold. I keep things very simple. You know, I find that if I come across the finish line before anyone else, it pretty much takes care of itself from there.
Yes. When can we see Kori Carter on a track?
I think I'm opening up in the hurdles at Drake, but like I feel like it's been really weird with this year, like with meets. So like everything's like here's our plan, but like who knows?
Who knows? You know? It may not actually happen. We may have to change up the plans. So
like,
yeah,
here's a list of meets, but like nothing's confirmed. Everything's tentative. Also, like these meets are like is a meet Are we accepting partner at what's the protocol? I don't know, but
protocol that right there. I've got so many questions about protocol. Okay, so now we're gonna get to our fun, just random questions, and I've got 3 of them. So the first one I have to ask everybody because everyone always gives these different answers, and I think it's very fun. So we're gonna put you on an island, right? Just just an island in the middle of nowhere. I have to make this clear because some people asked if there's other islands nearby, if there's another country close by. No, there's nothing there. You're just in the middle of the ocean, you yourself and this island. So you can bring any 3 items with you. What 3 items are you bringing?
Okay, my dog. Okay, question. If this item is like power based, do I have power? Okay. I'm bringing a knife. And honestly, I could probably survive with just my dog and my knife, to be honest. But like, what would be the third thing that's like that could like help me survive? What is the vegetation like, and what's the flora and fauna looking like?
You're gonna have vegetation. There's gonna be some animals there, so you'll be able to survive if you know how to survive.
Ooh, and like a blanket.
Ooh, that's a good one. I don't know if I've had anyone say a blanket yet.
Because like I feel like I could create a home, but like I mean, well, are there sheep on the island?
If you want there to be sheep on the island,
then I wouldn't need a blanket. I could just like kill a sheep, use all parts of the animal, use the wool because I have a knife, and then create a loom with wood. Okay, so I don't necessarily need a blanket, but a blanket would be clutch. Actually, make that blanket a sleeping bag because I get cold very easily.
Haha.
Yeah, and then I would make a blanket out of my sheep killings. I honestly really think that I could live off the land though. Like I do want to do a year where I'm just like in the middle of the wilderness and I'm just like living life.
A year, not 3 months, but a year. Kori,
I just really think that I could do it.
I guess this leads to the next one, which is gonna be animals. If you could be any animal, Kori, what animal would it be?
Okay, so I think like spiritually, I am a squirrel. We're very similar in that squirrels are actually very smart. If you go on YouTube, you can watch a lot of obstacle course videos. I am sounding like a crazy person on this. You're
not crazy. You're not crazy, Kori. I love this.
And they're like small, but like mighty, and like they have a good they're very energetic. So I feel like I am a squirrel. If I could be any animal though, like if I could just choose, I would be a dragon. And I feel like that makes sense for obvious reasons.
So much.
I think about this all the time.
You know why this is just so funny? Because I remember when you were posting about what was something that, because guys, she does a question of the day on her Instagram, okay? And
it's nonsense, but we have a good time.
She did a question of the day, and it was about like, what do you wish you learned in school? And she was like, martial arts.
I know people were like, yeah, I would love to learn taxes. And I was like, where were my sword fighting classes? I need this to complete my missions. Okay, can I just,
Kori,
you're getting weird, and so I'll just tell you. Okay, so I read a lot of fantasy books, like dragons and like werewolves and all that stuff. And so even now, like my 30th is coming up in 2 years, and I feel like maybe that will be the one. Every year I'm like, this is the year. Like I'm turning 13. I'm going to find out I actually have werewolf blood in me. Or like, hey, it's my 16th birthday. My mom's gonna be like, by the way, we're witches. Or like, 18th birthday comes along. It's my 18th moon. Like, what's gonna find out I'm actually a lost princess of a different land. And it never happens. And then when TikTok was like, Black people are about to get their powers, I'm like, I've been waiting my whole life for this. I'm ready.
Waiting, just patiently waiting.
And I'm like, all right, it's cool. And it's like, one day I'm gonna find out. Like, I'm part X-Man, and it's fine. But So that's why I'm like, I really need to work my sword fighting because at some point I'm going on a.
I have actually one last question because you're so involved with all the groups. You speak to different of the event. Wow, different event groups.
Yes.
And you know what? I've asked everybody this, and I can't not ask you of all people this. Who is the funniest event group in track and field?
That is a good question. But because I have a theory on like every single event group, but I would say I see a lot of humor coming from the men's throws, but I feel like it's very like slapstick, you know, boys kidding around type of humor. So I would give it to them.
I can agree with that.
I haven't had a bad time with a thrower ever. It's always laughs and fun.
Always.
Runner up would probably be the men's jumps, but the jumps in general, their title, they have the swaggiest title, and everyone knows. But the coolest people in the track are jumpers. I would like to be a jumper.
Come to the dark side.
I'm not saying that. That's like facts.
Like come to the dark side. I think
I used to jump. It wasn't good.
Just okay, actually stay to the 400 hurdles, but I think that we can claim you as a jumper just based off your swag. Kori, thank you so much for coming on and
thanks for having me.
Your crazy faith. I love that I had you because I don't think I've laughed as much on any other podcast besides this one. You brought the personality, and so I love it, and it's literally just you. So you always bring the laugh, a good time.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Crazy Faith podcast. Once again, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Agogie. With 8 resistance bands built in, Agogie's resistance pants have pioneered the resistance apparel industry, helping increase your training intensity and improving your overall performance. Get faster, get stronger, and it's as simple as putting on the pants. So once again, I really hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I can't wait for you guys to hear the next one. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and remember, maintain that crazy faith.